Who doesn't love a good zombie movie? Late nights, lights out, and nothing but the undead gnawing on the flesh of the living to keep you scared and hidden under the covers. But in my adventurous searching on Tubi, I found quite an interesting movie that piqued my curiosity, and I should say, my curiosity's peakness should have been kept at what it was. Zombie Ass Toilet of the Dead. In one of the most disgusting and perverted movies I've seen lately, Toilet of the Dead follows a good storyline progression, but the story itself is something that I just don't know what the hell they were going with. Trust me, liking this movie should probably come with therapy and jail. This movie is full of poo, gore, perversion, horny weirdos, and also more poop. But why so much poopy? Well, we can thank that to Noboru Iguchi, the director of Zombie Ass. And because it's just something really gross and I don't really want to talk about it, it's just essentially like a scat. It's gross, so get a puke bucket and let's flush out some ideas with Zombie Ass Toilet of the Dead. The movie begins as a storm rages on at the Tanaka Medical Clinic, where we meet Dr. Tanaka and his daughter Sachi. Hi Sachi. Sachi is sick with a mystery illness, unable to heal his daughter. All the doctor can do is curb her symptoms. Now, how does he do that? The doctor drags in a zombie, chains encrusted to his skin around his neck, and starts to punch the zombie in the gut, causing him to throw up. But something else, something unknown, is also puked up into Sachi's mouth. That's the opening, right? Crazy. We blast down Sachi's esophagus, where we are blessed with some amazing music. God damn, Jimmy, these cats are cooking. We flash back in time to the toilet. Take it to the toilet! Here, a group of bullies is shoving this loser's head in the toilet. Aye. What's her name? Oh, what a coinkadinky. Ai calls out for help to her sister Megumi. She is tormented, kicked, and being called a parasite. With each cry out getting louder, Megumi finally arrives to help her sister, but Megumi is frozen, unable to help Ai from the bullies. The bugs are coming. Bugs are coming. The bugs are coming. The bugs are coming.
It puts the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again.
She lets out a scream, and the camera flashes white. Luckily, it was just a flashback from Megumi. As we meet the gang on the way to go camping, we have Megumi, Take, Aya, Maki, and Naoi. And sorry for the pronunciations. The characters all play an integral role in our story, and they're all unique enough to distinguish them from one another. Plus, add on to the fact that this movie is just messed up the ass to start with, I don't think we're really going to be forgetting any of these characters. And to be honest, the intro of this movie sets a lot of really good stepping stones for the progression of this movie, especially here with the initial car scene. Megumi is a traumatized innocent person trying to heal. Take is a drugged out asshole. Aya, the nice girl, and Maki is literally talking out her ass. You'll know what I'm talking about later on. And Naoi is, well, he is what he is. A sad piano starts to caress us gently as Megumi talks about the passing of her sister 1 year ago. To escape the pain, she accepted an invitation from Aya to go camping, and although she tries to forget, the pain keeps growing.
Oh!
The gang parks their van near their final destination for camping. Maki, obsessed with herself, wishes nothing more than to be the center of attention, willing to sacrifice her health and body for fame and glamour. On the camping trip, her main objective is to eat parasites out of the river that all the other models use to get skinny. I would stick to Ozempic and exercise, but you do you, baby girl. The music turns to an exotica, soft and sensual fuck me music. It's like the music that would play on the TV at 4 a.m. and your mom would come into the room. Not come, but she would enter the room. Anyway, weird stuff. At the river, the gang is netting trouts and looking for parasites. Megumi decides to show off some of her skills, like trout snatching skills, karate chopping skills, zombie axe chopping skills. Boys only like girls who have cool skills. A trout springs from the river and startles Maki, who's unable to catch the fish, only for Megumi to take the net and get it herself. Naoi also busts a literal nut while this happens. Maki is visibly upset, letting her ego hurt her, feeling upstaged by Megumi. She storms back to the campsite where Take is big chillin', high on pills. Take lets us know why he's truly there. He wants that sweet punani nani. He offers Maki drugs and a fun time in the woods with his wood, but Maki lets us know that she just wants them yummy tapeworms. Taki pops more pills, while Maki displays her jealousy of Megumi embarrassing her, leading to the seduction of Taki, where they start French smooching. Taki saying some wild shit. Maki Psycho! You'll get yours, Maki and Taki. Only for the camera to back away, to reveal the unknown. Who are you? Megumi is practicing her karate out by the river with Aya. Aya recognizes that she isn't healing from her sister's death, and that she needs to understand this. Megumi thanks her for the invitation and her concern, and saying that being strong is the best thing for her to do. The gang is cutting up the trout, and now he pulls out a tapeworm. But goodness, that tapeworm, it's a special tapeworm, don't you worry. It begins to wiggle, and Maki wants the wiggly worm. She snatches it from Naoi's hand. Her aspiration to be a model is too much, driving her to do vile things for fame and fortune. The humanity behind her eyes, it's tainted, and she swallows the parasite. Megumi has flashbacks to the bugs, and runs off to throw up, chased by Aya and the rest. Megumi is approached by Take, who's hiding in the woods, and he starts to assault her. Kick him in the balls! Hell yeah. With his balls flattened, Take is subdued, and the rest of the group arrives. A shout from the woods gets their attention. They spot a man slugging through the woods, approaching them. Naoi, thinking it might be a wildlife officer, gets scared because it's not trout season. I think that's the least of your concern, buddy. Aya wakes up Take, who uses his totally super awesome manly abilities to save them. Damn. He grabs the jacket of the old man, threatening to hurt him. The old man grabs Take's wrist and bites his finger off. Blood gushes out. A strange music, honestly really terrifying sound to hear, starts to blast in your ears. His strength, too great. The old man has a grip on Take. The others are unable to save him, begging the old man to let go. That's not the same for Megumi, though. She launches forward and slams the side of the zombie's head with a neck kick, snapping it in half. It's bent 90 degrees. It's awesome. She says the kick was a normal one, not meaning to hurt him. He falls to the ground, twitching. The undead is dead. Scared of being arrested, they run away, only to come back to their vehicle being stolen after Take left the keys in it. Now here, Megumi is such a badass. Everybody starts panicking but her. She goes through and bandages up Take's busted up finger, right? And then they also start looking at a map, and they're trying to find their way out of there, and she decides to take the charge. While examining a map, looking for a village to get help, Maki becomes jealous of Megumi's skills. Maki wants to be everyone's favorite, but she just sucks, and the others agree to follow Megumi instead of Maki. After locating a village on the map, the gang heads through the woods to the village. They spot a ghost girl. Sachi. But she runs away to be chased down by the group. Chasing after her, they arrive to a town, banging on the windows, yelling for help, pleading. No help is to be found. And what's worse, somebody has to poopy. The tapeworm in Maki begins to agitate her stomach. Now he says, Alright, damn, it ain't diarrhea, chill. Unable to continue slapping him, Maki makes her way to the porta potty. Also, the farting noises. Come on, what the? So now we have Maki taking a Duke and Taki popping more pills. I can't wait for these two fuckers to die. Aya has also come to the realization that Take is nuts and wonders why she's even with him. And I'm also wondering that too, Aya. Back in the porta potty, we get to meet some zombies. The dookie water underneath Maki starts to churn, bubbling, moving, and emerging from the water, a man. What the fucking gosh? Maki hears him moaning, and she looks down, only for his hand to snatch her ass and start slapping it. I can't show this for obvious reasons, but this is just pure depravity and scat fetish stuff. She then farts on him, and he breaks from the poop tank, smiling, covered in piss and shit, trying to rip off Maki's dress as she fights him, running away from the porta potty, back to the group, screaming. More poop zombies break from their dookie prison, walking towards the group. The gang all is in fear, panicking, screaming as they flee from the zombies. Maki still farting. Also, she literally lets out like a demonic cloud of fecal poopy, farty warty. I don't even know what it is, but it's crazy. Crawling on the ground, Maki is completely surrounded, almost about to be killed, only for Megumi to rush toward her, trying to save her. But a motherfucking alien parasite comes flying out of her ass. I don't know anything in life anymore. Unable to save her, Maki gets dragged away by the zombies, and the group runs, and the poop starts to launch. They barricade themselves in a shed, scared to die. This can't get worse. From the darkness, an old man emerges from the back, holding a double-barrel shotgun to them. Megumi takes charge and talks with the man. He asks if she's from Tokyo, and that she shouldn't have taken the people into the village. Has she done this before? Or does the old man think she's Sachi? It seems as though the old man thinks that Megumi is working with the evil doctor, bringing him test patients. That would be crazy. The old man's stomach starts to ache with pain. The parasite is crawling through his system, making its way towards his brain, ready to turn him into a zombie. So essentially the parasites that the humans end up getting into their system feed on their food, they keep them skinny, and then it turns into a worm brain that turns you into a poop zombie. Interesting concept. The old man, not wanting to be a slave to the parasite, blows out his brains, sending blood and brain matter flying. But please watch this and don't get sick. I was damn near throwing up at that for some reason. I just thought it was so gross. Now he just has the most wild shit happening to him in this movie. His facial expressions and everything. It's hilarious. Because he just got covered in poop, and then he just ate an eyeball. Attempting to barricade them off, the zombies continued to advance, one of which grabbing Aya by the hair. Megumi, such a badass, chops that zombie's arm off and chops another one in half with an axe. The zombie's upper torso flies in the air towards Aya and literally gets ass grabby, and Aya moans. Kind of weird. And then Megumi hits one in the balls, which kind of gets him off. Unable to fight them off, more and more of the undead enter the room. Aya, being violated by a panty raid, power drives her butt through the zombie's head as she hops and squats on his noggin, and he goes kaplooey. This is the time where Megumi realizes the head is the weak point of the zombies, and she launches her attack. And she's literally the only one doing anything of importance in this movie at this point. So, yeah, her whole dynamic is to literally be a badass in every way, which is great, but with the disgusting nature of this film, it's kind of soiled. Literally. She uses her karate training from earlier to fight back the horde and grabs the shotgun. Now don't mind me, but how does she shoot the zombies without reloading when the old man just repainted the ceiling not 2 minutes ago? Megumi crushes one last final skull, spilling what remains of the mushy-brained corpse. But not so fast. A parasite emerges with a detestable brain absorbed from the human host. The group is shocked and paralyzed as the parasite worm flings itself towards Megumi, and she is helpless. Reaching ever so close to her, Megumi screams. Aya and Naoi are about to witness their only hope of survival die, but just inches from latching itself onto her, a cluster of nails pin the creature to the wall, immobilizing the threat. A man emerges from behind the door. It's the doctor. He asks if they have injuries and takes them all back to the Tanaka clinic, where more poo zombies roam the outside world. Inside the clinic, the group is seated in an office where the doctor and his daughter enter. Holy shit, I know that lady. And so does Megumi. The doctor and his daughter bring in a plate of food. Taki starts wolfing that shit down. The doctor tells them of Sachi being sick and that he brought her to the town as part of her therapy to make her better. Unknowing the trouble that would happen, the doctor is studying the parasite, trying to find out how to cure it. The villages and villagers in the surrounding area have all been decimated. Seemingly, the parasite begins its journey in fish, which are then eaten by the animals in the area, and then consumed by humans. Looks like Maki skipped a step there. Maki. He named the parasite Nekuro. That's awesome. The doctor notices the bite wound on Taki's hand, saying too much time has passed, and the parasite has laid its eggs. He starts to thrash around as his head begins to bubble and expand, filling with pus and mush. Looks like all them drugs are finally starting to catch up to you. Also, is that like Tak and the Power of Juju? That was a cool show, and I had the Game Boy game. Anyways, screaming in agony and farting, of course, Take reaches out to Aya, grabbing her body, begging her to kiss him one last time, only to scream out Maki's name instead. Ooh. Everyone's like, what?
もう喋るな。
Before Take's head explodes and covers everyone in blood and guts. Honestly though, Aya should be happy, but instead she's sobbing in the shower, cleaning the brain matter from her. Megumi enters the bathroom, asking if she's alright, and then things get a little lesbian. Aya asks Megumi to enter the shower. Megumi undresses slowly. Aya is scared, unknowing whether they'll make it out alive, asking her to come closer. Megumi and Aya embrace. All butt naked, yeah. Take's death gives Aya conflicting feelings. She knows he was an asshole, but she still loved him. Overall, the scene opens up more light to the death of Megumi's sister and kind of the fear and complications that she felt that shut down her body and mind at the time because she was unable to protect someone that she loved, and that fear had overtaken it. So now she is strengthening herself over the past year to heal. The pain she has been suffering over the past year has led her to train her body and mind to be more powerful than the fear that overtook her. It's a great message, but why in this scene? We go back in time to Ai being bullied at the school, having her face shoved in the toilet. The bullies are trying to make her eat a cockroach. Megumi arrives to the bullies, who berate her and start tantalizing her, trying to make her fart, chanting F-A-R-T. The only thing worse than her pain is her sister's pain. Ai says she'll fart if it will get the bullies to leave. What? What is this, man? I'm doing this for free. What am I doing? Ai, embarrassed of the fart, runs away to the top of the school bleachers and jumps to her death, with Megumi right behind her. The last sight of her sister alive was her death. Kind of dark, you know? Megumi awakes from her nightmare to startle Naoi. He says her nightmare is from the bad aura they're getting from the Dr. Tanaka. Aura, and the place they're staying at. Megumi agrees with him. But what is that noise? Her tummy starts to get rumbly, causing her visible distress. She excuses herself, claiming the feeling has never been this bad. In agonizing pain, she stumbles away, clutching her tuchus, looking for the crapper like I do at 4 a.m. She comes to a door, slightly cracked open. From it, the sound of Dr. Tanaka beating a zombie who we saw earlier chained up. Just like the beginning of the movie, the doctor is extracting a parasite to give to his daughter Sachi, and we get to see the parasite, and goddamn that shit's gross. Plus, Sachi straight up slams the salami mommy down the hatch lickety split. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my god. And with a new one in, the old one has to come out. What the fuck do you mean by that? The doctor gives her an anti-parasitical medicine, Mushikudashi. Sachi is on the table, bent over on all fours. Ew. Tanaka extracts the medicine from the bottle, like 500 syringes worth of what he should be using. But I'm gonna trust the doctor guy. Sorry, I'm not a doctor. He injects Sachi with the serum as Megumi watches from the shadows. Sachi's pain ferments into something disgusting. Her stomach begins to churn, burning, turning, before expelling a parasite. So essentially, Sachi is infected with the parasite, but you can never get rid of it. You will always die if you get infected. The only way to survive seems like you have to replace the growing parasite with a new one before the host expires. Out with the old, and in with the new. So presumably, this scene ties together everything that we've been wondering. The gang is being held captive by the doctor, so he can infect them with parasites and use the fully grown parasite in their system to feed to his daughter. That's crazy. The Nekurogodero. Megumi lets out a whimper that alerts Sachi and the doctor to her eavesdropping. She enters the room, with the doctor telling her of their secret. The parasites don't eat Sachi's brain, and in return, the doctor and Sachi bring the parasites humans to consume. And being the local doctor of the villages, this was easy for Tanaka as a steady supply of patients was abundant. But soon, with more and more people dying, the need to kidnap people was clear. Tanaka pulls out a nail gun on Megumi, aiming right at her gullet. gullet. The doctor calls the village's Nekurogodoro, that word, farms, and that Megumi and her friends are the next in the feeding cycle. Cause baby, we got no snacks in the pantry. Naoi and Aya enter the room after hearing the commotion, now all being held hostage by Tanaka. He tells them it's hopeless, as the eggs of the parasite are already inside of them, hatching, thriving, expanding, feeding. But how did the eggs get inside of them? Huh? Yes, the pasta they were eating earlier. This is why you never accept food from strangers in a zombie apocalypse, okay? Shame, shame, shame. Tanaka starts shooting at the three of them, with Megumi dodging that shit like Neo in the Matrix, before kicking Tanaka in the forehead and escaping the clinic. But truly, where is it more dangerous? Inside with human flesh, or with the undead corpses? Their bodies have started to be overtaken with parasites, cramping up and farting all the time. The gang is in a dire situation as a horde of the poopies arrive. Megumi suggests that she goes and gets medicine from the basement of the clinic. Aya and Naoi agree and take off, leading the horde away from Megumi. With the eggs nearing the time to hatch, Aya and Naoi are left fighting for their lives. Swing away, Meryl. Naoi starts making machi on these zombies' head and bashes in a couple of their heads before one of them bends over and a little torpedo parasite comes sorority rushing out of his ass. It's playing peekaboo like a Jack in the Crack. Here's Dookie. Then picture this, the rest of the zombies that are attacking them all bend over, and the parasite also comes out of their butt, and then they start attacking the gang. It's like a boring tunnel machine. Now he even hits one of them with his bat, only for it to be snatched from his hand, getting shred up. Bro literally has a wood chipper asshole. The music intensifies as the zombies charge the two of them. One of the zombies Evil Knievel's itself through the air and lands on top of Naoi. The zombie starts pushing out more of the parasite, attempting to drill itself into his mouth as he bobs and weaves his head. And this lady is getting way too turned on from this stuff. What the heck? Aya comes from behind and kicks the zombie, launching it 20 feet to where the parasite starts to feed on another zombie's face. And Aya and Naoi are able to escape. We find Megumi stealing medicine from the clinic, only to be caught by Sachi. Sachi, you stay away from us. Megumi pleads for Sachi to escape with them, telling her that the doctor is crazy, but Sachi didn't like that too much as she pulls out some knives and starts ding-dangling them around. Megumi backs away. It seems as though the parasites have corrupted Sachi, as she says the worms are innocent, and they just need a home like anyone else. This bitch is crazy. Sachi launches towards Megumi, attacking her, swinging her blades down with force. Apparently, she learned to fight this well from watching action movies out of boredom. So being a couch potato does pay off, but I'm a baked potato. That was the lamest fucking thing I've ever said. After cutting Megumi with the knife, Megumi pulls out a jar of eyeballs that shocks Sachi into fainting, and she falls to the ground. With one last strike, Megumi hits Sachi and knocks her out, before running out of the clinic to go and try and find Aya and Naoi. Let's check in with them. Parasites do not act as if they're from this earth. How they act, replicate, feed, all too strange for something of this planet. Just then, Naoi's head bursts with pain, and blood starts seeping from his orifices, and he starts shitting his britches. The doctor enters the room and takes Aya hostage, aiming his weapon at Naoi, telling him that his fate is sealed as feed for the parasites. Not today, though. As Naoi jumps directly onto the doctor's face and gets himself and the doctor roped into the parasite orgy happening right next to them. Naoi wants to die the hero, and that he does, saving Aya as she runs away. But just wait, I know that blue dress. It's Maki. Aya, unaware of Maki being infected, gets wrangled and wrapped up by the parasite that shot itself out of Maki's ass. This scene is just straight up assault as this tapeworm enters her. It's horrific. It starts eating out the old parasite from inside of her. Maki, under control of the parasite, lays new eggs in Aya, pushing the old ones out. Yeah, how are we doing that, Maki? Yeah, the parasite lurks its way down her throat and out her butt. What the fuck? Megumi starts another attack on the zombies, and one by one she takes them out. The drums are kicking here. And so is Megumi. She shish kebabs a few zombies together and runs to the warehouse nearby, the same one Aya and Maki are in. Inside, Maki has taken full control of Aya's body with the parasite, keeping her near death. Maki tells a sobbing Megumi that the parasite she ate must have been the queen. Maki sends the parasite to kill Megumi, only for it to be held back by Aya's teeth. Staring at the parasite, Aya begs out to Megumi to kill her, saving her the dignity of dying a human and even being able to help Megumi escape with her death. She grabs the nail gun. Crying, tears welling in her eyes, Megumi pulls the trigger to kill Aya, a single nail to the head. Before turning to Maki and doing a double tap, Megumi turns back to the lifeless body of Aya, touching her, grasping her soul before it can escape. Ashamed of her failure, Megumi is distraught, afraid, and in pain from letting someone else she wanted to protect die in such a way. Then, Maki's body rises up, Undertaker style. She's not dead, and her body is ready to transform. Her eyes pop out of her head. Her mutation is underway. Awesome. This part is wild. Her head expands out. It inflates like a balloon in a Magic Mirror funhouse. It then proceeds to split open, and blood starts gushing and spurting out in every direction. It's like a geyser, and emerges the queen parasite, rising to the tune of some 15 feet. This fucking thing is built like a praying mantis on meth, and Jar Jar Binks on meth. Combined, this thing is vile and disgusting. Megumi runs outside, only to find Sachi on the same path, continuing to hunt her down. What's she supposed to do now? It couldn't get much worse except for the fact that the parasite queen starts flying in the air and grabs Sachi by the shoulders and gets used like a jetpack. Come on, man. Sachi can now fly, and is also dual-wielding the blades. Flying by Poo Parasite, by the way. Megumi cowers in fear, her stomach pain continuing to grow. Have the eggs hatched? With the buzzing of Sachi above her, Megumi is unable to hold it any longer. The pain she feels is too much to bear. Ripping ass and becoming ashamed of herself. Which this ties back to her sister's death, because it basically concludes that she couldn't fart in order to save her sister. So she was like ashamed of it, and that's why she hasn't been able to heal over the past year, because she still feels ashamed of that moment. Sachi hears it and berates Megumi, and some Harry Potter music starts to play in the background. The head of the parasite enters Megumi, and she cries out in pain. Levitating above her, the parasite and Sachi drive itself deeper into her, feeding on the insides, eventually lifting her off the ground as sweat protrudes from her skin. Thrashing her around, the queen parasite releases Megumi as she falls through the sky to her death. Just then, the voice of her sister Ai calls to her, telling her she must fight to live, no matter what, even if it means farting. Even if it means farting. Megumi listens to her sister and literally starts ripping ass like a demon, and she starts fucking flying. She's creating enough thrust that keeps her in the air, and I don't mean just levitating, I mean Blue Angels type shit, mixed with like a futuristic self-flying drone. Gunk works, you know. Megumi battles with the queen, defending off her attacks. Megumi's like blowing dookie dust. I don't even know how to explain it. And she's fencing Sachi with like a worm that came out. I don't know. The queen is unable to hold on to Sachi and drops her as she falls to her death, having a wooden branch pierce the back of her head and neck, killing her. Then, Megumi soars towards the queen and injects her with the anti-parasite medicine, injecting her with every last drop. Megumi comes back to the ground, and the parasite queen begins to warp and bloat until it bursts into a gore-filled explosion. Awesome. And check out this flight form, and she even stuck the landing. Insane. Megumi, you badass. Ai comes back to thank Megumi and tells her to continue on without fear. Megumi says she will fight and survive for her sister and her friends. Megumi takes the last of the medicine before hobbling away and finding their car. She enters, but with each attempt to start, her hope dims as the car won't start. But guess who? this is just gross because he starts talking about playing father-daughter games and, yeah, getting all grab-assy. But luckily, Megumi kicks him in the head, killing him, and living her life without any more fear. And that was a journey, I will say. Not a good one. I don't know where to go from here. As a rating, I don't know what category to kind of put this movie in. This movie is a depravity-filled, vile wound full of oozing slime that you can feel going down the back of your neck. It's just sticks with you. And I don't think it's going to be able to leave my mind. For the sake of movies that are in the what the fuck category that we have here, I'm going to give this one a 3 out of 10. The only points being that it's like a few occasional funny parts, the rest of it's just really gross. Yeah, this is something that you kind of get fucked up with friends and watch and see who can like last the longest. That's kind of my thoughts on it. My eyes hurt from watching this film. Why did I watch this? Why did I torture myself? I don't know. I don't know. All I know is I'm ready for something silly, something funny maybe, or with Halloween approaching, more scary movies. But I know I don't know. I don't know, but I do know I love you. You're cool, and I hope everyone kind of enjoyed this. Or if you're throwing up, I'm sorry. Overall, fair warning, the movie is gross. Thank you for watching. Leave a like, a dislike, comment, share, subscribe. You know the whole ordeal. Thank you for supporting everything. This was a fun one overall. Give me some more weird ones. I don't mind. I also have another video uploaded that's like a first time reaction to this, watching it and writing down kind of a rough draft of the script if you kind of want to see that. Literally one of the only movies that has made me gag. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Anyways, thank you and see ya. Bye.